Hey, Dr. Tom Preston here, founder and head coach at Full Circle Coaching and Consulting, helping you become more so you can do more and have more of what your authentic heart desires. In this video, what I'm going to teach you is the number one reason why chiropractors don't grow their practice. I've been at this a very long time. As of the shooting of this video, I've been coaching now for over 25 years. I now have thousands of clients, thousands of testimonials and case studies to back up what I'm going to share with you. So you're definitely going to want to stay with me till the end of this video in order to find out the secret to why, the number one secret reason why chiropractors don't grow their practice. And not only am I going to tell you the secret, I'm going to show you how to fix it. So you're definitely going to want to stay with me till the end of this video. Here is the piece of the puzzle that you need to understand. When I talk to docs, and it doesn't matter what part of the planet Earth that the people are talking to me about or I'm speaking at, what they universally do not want to feel like is they do not want to feel like some sort of a sleazy salesperson. Now, I'm come from an age where we used to have sitcom television like the famous series MASH. Certainly when I was a little bit older, my kids were older, there was Friends, but there was an old one called WKRP in Cincinnati. And there was a character on this particular sitcom that his name was Herb Tarlick. And Herb was that classic sleazy salesman. He wore the horrible, suits that didn't fit right, and he was just a sleazeball. And I can tell you that early in my career, before I learned this secret I'm going to teach you today, and I'm going to give you all of the language for, I used to not want to be Herb Tarlick. I didn't want to be that sleazy salesperson. Because again, I had a little bit of arrogance around, I was a doctor. I went to university for all these years. I've got all this great knowledge to share with people. I should just be able to speak like the gods of old, and people should just follow my game plans. Well, I'll tell you, I learned pretty quickly, that didn't work so well. So, what you want to be doing is you want to be educating, but there's very specific ways that you can educate, and you can do it in a way that doesn't allow you or force you or make you feel like a sleazy car salesman ever again, okay? So, because I can tell you, here's the block, here's the mental subluxation that all docs have, is that they feel like they're drifting down the path of moving towards sales, and particularly sleazy sales. They just don't, they either don't try, they don't even market to bring in new leads so that they can educate them to the value of the amazing service you offer. So there's a whole subluxation at that end where people just aren't literally coming in to see you because you're not putting the energy forth, because you don't want to be confronted with sleazy salesperson, when you're laying out a care plan for somebody at a report of findings. So there's that piece, but then even within the dialogue, you'll tend to undersell yourself. You'll undersell the principle of chiropractic. You'll undersell the value of your care just so that you don't wander into that sleazy salesperson standpoint. Now let's be clear, there's a big difference between educating and selling, because again, at any point you need to understand that there is a certain amount of selling that goes on in order to have somebody enroll in a care plan. But it doesn't have to be sleazy and horrible. It can actually be a very straightforward thing to do. And I'm going to share with you one of the techniques we teach here at Full Circle in order to be able to get you enrolled in that so that you never feel like that again. If you don't feel like a sleazy car salesman or sleazy salesman in any form, then you're going to want to market, you're going to want to tell the world that you've got something to do, you're going to be using the right words, you're going to be promoting the greatness of what you do in a very ethical and very non-confrontational but very clear way so that more people buy, basically what it is that you are selling, to use that terminology, through your education process. Your practice is going to grow, you're going to feel more fulfilled, more joyous, and you're going to prosper in the process. So, let's go down to the adjusting area, and I'm going to walk you through this protocol. Okay, so Dr. Tom here with his wife Shelley as a practice member. And again, we want to run you through the language that will allow you to have the absolute certainty that you are asking the practice member what kind of a person they are, what kind of health constructs they value, where it is they are, so that when you get into your treatment plan, when you get into your report of findings, that you're not going to feel like, again, my goofy metaphor of like Herb Tarlick in a bad suit, or any sort of a car salesman or whatever in a bad suit, right? So we believe in templates of Full Circle, not scripts. So every time I do this, it'll be slightly different, but the main constructs I want you to pay attention to here. And I'm going to encourage you to watch this video over several times to ensure that you get the main ideas, all right? So we're just going to get into rapport and we're going to run with this thing. All right, Shelley, so great visit. And one of the questions I think you wanted answered is, are you in the right place? Can we help you? That was one of your first questions today, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and the answer is yes, we can help you. We've helped thousands of people with problems like yours in the past, right? And as I alluded to earlier, there's this interesting word in the chiropractic profession, we call it a subluxation. Kind of sounds like a subway station, but it's a very different thing. And it refers to interference with the normal function of the nerve system, which causes weakened cell structure, which eventually will cause injury or dis-ease or dysfunction, which in your case is the problem of what's going on here today. So we have the solution, we know what's going on, right?
Right.
So as I said to you earlier in this visit, what we're going to do is I'm going to report on all of the findings, all of the neurological and x-ray tests and all the other things that I did, and I'm going to lay out a care plan. The question I have for you is what kind of a care plan is going to serve you best, okay? So I tend to interact with three different types of people in my office, right? First group of people are people that are kind of interested in what we call the Band-Aid approach, or like just a quick fix, like patch me up, put me back in the game, coach, right? They're not interested in getting the problem corrected. They're just looking to feel better. They obviously don't want to do it with drugs or booze, or they'd be, somewhere else than a natural healthcare provider's office. But they're just looking to get patched up and put back in the game. For those kind of people, they're usually with us for about 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Mm-hmm. The second group of people we interact with are people that are interested in more of a correction. They're interested in the function of their body, the function of the nerve system in this case, and they want to ensure that it is optimized. So they're not, they're not Band-Aid people. They're not quick fix people. They realize that Band-Aids fall off. Quick fixes don't last long, and they're the kind of people that want to get the problem, as I said, corrected, okay? Mm-hmm. They're the people that the oil light comes on in their truck, like one of my buddies did, where he actually put a Band-Aid over it, a piece of black tape, so he couldn't see the light anymore. That's the quick fix, guys, just looking for a temporary solution. Person category 2 is somebody would be looking for, again, as I said, a correction. For those care plans in our office, they're usually set up in a 6 to 12 month sort of a time frame because of the length of time it's taken to get you to where you are today. Okay? Yeah. Third group of people we interact with are people that are what we call wellness focused. They're people that are focused on prevention, proactivity. They make their health a super high focus in their lives. Okay? They're people that drink clean water, whether they feel good or feel bad. They're people that brush their teeth regularly, whether they feel good or feel bad. They're people that manage their stress, whether things are going well or they're not going well. They're people that are focused on health and prevention and proactivity and optimal human performance, optimal function on an ongoing basis. And for those people in our office, they make chiropractic a part of their lifetime approach to health well-being, just like breathing, just like drinking clean water, just like all the other things that they do. Okay? So based upon your focus and your priorities in your life and your health, which category would you say that you would fall under?
I would say category 2.
Category 2. Right. Well, you know what? I appreciate that, and it's good to know that because about 85% of the people in our office actually pick that choice because it seems like more and more people are interested in getting problems corrected, not just quick fixes. So what I'll do is I'll be putting a care plan together that will honor your choice. As I said, it's a 6 to 12 month time frame. And when we do report of findings, either tomorrow or the next day, whenever's mutually convenient, I'll be going over and setting that care plan up for you. Okay?
Perfect.
Any questions?
No. Can't
Okay.
wait to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither can I. All right, folks. So literally, it's as simple as that. Really, it's just some very simple language. And again, what you're doing is you're just asking the practice member, the patient, what it is that their choice is. And if you give people 3 choices, I guarantee you 100% they're going to pick one. It's interesting in our practice, about, as I said, 85% chose type 2 or corrective care, 5% chose crisis care, and 10% told me right off the bat they wanted to be lifetime practice members. So again, it's fairly straightforward. Now you have a moral responsibility to go in and create a care plan that honors Shelley's choice, right? So if you go in with a couple of weeks long care program, you've failed, you've screwed up, you've disserved her. She's asked for and accepted a 6 to 12 month care plan. Now, did I say how often she was coming? No. Did I say how many visits was going to take? No. Did I tell her about the ancillary things we needed to do in the exercises? No. It's just a broad category thing. I use this successfully in my practice for over 20 years. Full circle clients have been using it for years. It's extremely effective. It works. I'm encouraging you to adopt it ASAP. So again, Dr. Tom here, helping you become more so you can do more and have more of what your heart desires.